So. Mm, 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 mm. I might do this one backwards. I might play some. I might play some Dead by Daylight to try and like snap myself out of this because I am fuzzy in the brain. All right, where were we? Nighttime, fields in the middle estate. Survivors huddle behind some debris. They're all gathered around with some of their stuff. All right, we have a few hours before dawn. We only need 5 of those generators running, and I've counted at least 7 out there. Jake and Meg, you're a team. Claudette and I are the other. We each fix a generator like Jake showed us, and we could be back in time by breakfast. Stay quiet, stay hidden, and help each other down from those damn hooks. Everyone agrees. Go. What do you want, Windows Word? Don't check for this issue. All 4 split up, moving quickly across the grounds. Shot of each one going to a generator and beginning to work on them. It's loud, clunky work, but the generators begin chugging their life slowly. Jake spots one of the hooks nearby and moves towards it, disappearing off camera. Jake! Come back! Where are you going? The generator sparks and makes a loud bang. Cut to the other team across the field, reacting to the noise and sharing a worried look. Cut back to Meg, who backs away from the generator and heads into the debris to find a hiding place. While sneaking around, she looks up and spots the trapper, who is looking right at her. They freeze for a moment before Meg turns and runs, followed by the trapper. She sprints away, vaulting through a ruined window and taking many twists and turns. She stops and hides in a corner, only to have the trapper come around the other side. He hits her once, and she runs away while he wipes the blade clean. The trapper is gaining on her and raises his weapon for another strike. She turns past one of the pals and pulls it down behind her just as the blade comes down and gets stuck in the wood. He struggles to yank it free. She uses this time to get some distance. White, what do you want, Windows? Oh, you know what? Fair. We hear a generator revving to life, and its floodlights come on as Dwight and Claudette finish fixing their generator. I wish there was a synonym for generator. In this case, arguably the synonym is objective, but that comes across weirdly in screenplay. Its floodlights come on as Dwight and Claudette finish fixing theirs. The trapper turns his attention in their direction and heads towards them. Cut to Dwight checking his map. Yes! Alright, next one. Okay, it should be around the right side of this house over here. They start running towards it. At this rate, we should be done before he has a chance to catch any of us. Dwight is immediately blindsided by the trapper coming around the same corner they were running towards and gets slashed. Note, trapper must wipe his blade after every successful hit. Dwight falls on the ground and Claudette stops short. Claudette, run! Dwight stands up and runs to a nearby piece of debris. He and the trapper dance around it for a bit before the trapper finally catches up and hits Dwight again. Dwight collapses and can only crawl before the trapper picks him up and carries him over to his shoulder towards a hook. Dwight struggles the whole time. Claudette runs up to the trapper. Hey, ugly! She kicks him, but it just knocked her off balance. The trapper turns and swings at her, but she misses as she falls over. Dwight struggling pulls the trapper off balance, and he must readjust, giving Claudette time to scamper away. The trapper hooks Dwight and starts to set a bear trap beneath him. But we hear a snap and a scream in the distance. Cut to Meg with her leg in a trap within arm's reach of one of the generators. Cut back to the trapper, who starts walking in her direction, leaving Dwight alone. Cut back to Meg struggling with the trap. She makes several attempts to pry the jaws open before finally mustering the strength to force them apart and pull her leg free. She gets to her feet just as the trapper arrives behind her and hits her again, knocking her to the ground. He picks her up and carries her wiggling towards the hook Jake saw earlier. As the trapper approaches, the hook falls out of its support and the whole arm sags. The trapper stops, confused. Jake runs out from behind the hook with his toolbox headed into the distance. Meg manages to land a good knee to the trapper's chin, and he grunts and drops her. She lands on all fours and limps away while he recovers and fixes his mask before giving chase again. Cut to Dwight getting pulled down from the hook by Claudette. She starts to patch him up, but he stops her. Not here. Dwight leads him away from the hook just as Meg runs past, followed by the trapper. The trapper closes in and prepares to swing when another generator sparks to life in the distance. Trapper gets distracted and Claudette runs over and pulls another one of the pallets out on top of the trapper, dazing him, and they all take their turn to flee in different directions. When the trapper looks up, they are all gone, but he focuses on the lit generator in the distance. Cut to Dwight running behind a crumbled wall and collapsing behind it, breathing hard and nursing his wounds. Claudette approaches to start to patch him up, grabbing one of the plants nearby and bandaging it onto the wounds. Did I make the note that she has to establish her botany stuff? I have the quote here. Ouch. Feeling better? Can you move? Testing out. Yeah, actually. What do you want? Yeah, okay. Yeah, it should do. How many are we at? 2, but I don't know where Meg went or where Jake ended up. Cut to Jake, approaching a generator by himself. He crouches down and gets to work, expertly using his tools to get the generator chugging. He stops suddenly, concentrating, then scrambles behind some cover. Moments later, the trapper walks up to the generator. He sees that it's had some progress made and begins searching the nearby area, forcing Jake to quietly keep moving around the boxes and equipment to stay out of the trapper's sight. At last, it seems like Jake has an opportunity to get away. He starts to run while the trapper's back is turned. He makes it quite a distance away, but while glancing over his shoulder, he steps into one of the bear traps. The trapper immediately turns around when he hears this and walks over to pick up Jake with the trap still on his leg. Trapper carries into a hook and puts Jake on. The trapper takes the trap off and rearms it underneath Jake. While he does, Dwight and Claudette approach the hook. Jake shakes his head no at them and tries to subtly motion them away. The trapper sees this and he stands up and turns to look, but sees nothing as the other two hide behind some debris. When the trapper turns back, Meg has appeared. She turns on the flashlight and points it right into the trapper's eyes. He advances on her as smoke starts rising from under his mask. Just as he gets close, he suddenly crumples, clutching his face and missing his swing at Meg. She shuts off the light and runs over to free Jake while the trapper recovers. I need to put in my notes that Jake gets hooked once. Claudette. I'm going to change the way I wrote this. Claudette hooks 2. Jake hooks 1. Dwight hooks 0. Meg hooks 0, even though she's been downed and carried, hasn't been hooked. Wait, no, Dwight got hooked. What am I talking about? Meg is the only one who has not been hooked whatsoever. Reminder that the names are just placeholders, so for the roles I recognize in my head. Because what's probably going to happen is Claudette is going to die first, because she's the healer. She's also been hooked twice, so she goes down at all. And then my notes over here. So yeah, Claudette hooks 2, Jake hooks 1, Dwight hooks 1, Meg hooks 0. Is that where we stopped? Really? Huh. Anyway, she shuts off the light and runs over to free Jake while the trapper recovers. She carefully sets off the trap, then pulls Jake down and they run away just as the trapper turns back to them and misses a swing. Alright, so at this point they're both wounded. I'm actually going to keep track of that in the screenplay. With red text. Because Claudette hasn't been hit yet. She's been hooked twice, but she actually hasn't been caught by the trapper whatsoever. Come on, brain, be less fuzzy. Think. That's another note I should keep track of as we go. Because, yeah, we're actually only at 2. Trying to think of what else I even want to have happen. Because the essence of this action scene is the essence of the game, where while he focuses on one of you, I should actually probably mention that earlier in the script. Let's have this go back to the plan part. What if he catches one of us? You lead him away from the others and stall him. He can't be in 4 places. Can only chase one of us. Time spent chasing me. Because I want to make a point that Dwight isn't like putting Jake on the line here, where it's like, hey, if he's chasing you, he's not chasing me. Like, bringing up the point, it's like, this is a point that spreads across all of us, so he uses his own, like, one of us. And time spent chasing me is time you can use on fixing these things. You can spend fixing these things safely. You lead him away and the others you lead him away from the others and stall him. He can only chase one of us, and time spent chasing me is time you can spend fixing these things safely. No, I mean, what happens if he catches us? What if he finds one of us? That's what we'll do. Puts us on a hook. Then one of us damn well better comes view. I believe I have one of Dwight's quotes saved up. Yeah, we have to work as a team. I need you to survive so that I can survive. Which also reminds me, I need to bring up the wiki. Making this the second wiki that every one of my streams has a wiki of some kind. Do they just have Dwight's quotes on his page? It's probably on here. Nothing. Nothing. Come on. What is this? Why are you being weird? Okay, and that's the only one of his that has this quote. There's another one. There it is. I think it's we'll make it. Confident we can all escape in one piece if we help each other. That's the one I was looking for, but it's not by Dwight specifically. I love reading this, by the way. We'll make it now only affects healing others. This used to work on yourself. This used to be, oh, did you, for survivor, you rescue from a hook and an additional speed increase to healing up to a maximum of 100%, which means you could help someone else off a hook and heal yourself. Genius. Someone thought that was going to be fine on its own. We're just going to leave that there, bring this up. Ow, everything hurts. Ugh. Huh. Then one of us damn well better come save you. Okay, so yeah, what was the line? Yeah, that's actually the one I actually want to just put both of those back to back. Those actually flow pretty well. One piece if we help each other. Mixed with... we have to work as a team. This, I think, should be a semicolon. I need you to survive so that I can survive. This sounds more selfish than I want this character to be. I don't think I'm going to use that one. I don't want to use both of them back to back anyway. Alright, so, then one of us damn well better come save you. If we help each other. I think when we get down to one generator left, we bring up the issue that, yeah, he can't be in 4 places at once, but he can patrol the remaining 3 generators way too easily. Like, have it where they keep trying to work, and he can just, like, see them, walk between them, and swing. Also, I'm starving because I have not eaten a thing today. That might be part of the problem why I'm having trouble focusing. Oh! Do I have jelly beans? Jelly beans are food, right? I mean, these aren't even really... Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was grass clippings. No. No, the more I chew, the better it is. Maybe take a food break? Also, hi, Spence. This is Dill. See, now there's not spoilers. You're allowed to watch this part. I am also very, very tired. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to take a food break. We've been at this for 20 minutes. I've written, like... 1, 2... I've written 4 lines. I've written a whopping 4 lines in 20 minutes. We've gone over some stuff, but, yeah, I'm half dead. I ate a jelly bean, though, so that's something. Don't get me wrong, the food break is tempting. It'd probably function a little better. Jelly bean acquired. Yeah. Was it you or Sam who was on the stream earlier just in time to get so many spoilers on Dark Souls? That was Sam. Of course. I honestly think you should consume essential nutrients. Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, after all, you're the only one watching. I don't think it'd be that bad. But yeah, I mean, Sam tuned in literally as I was talking about which NPC you end up trying to save, how, and why. It does, however, mean he missed out on Martin's massive rage over the game, because Martin's trying to play Dark Souls as well. I don't know why, and I know he left the giant thing in G chat why he was so upset, but or like how of how much he was hating the experience. But yeah, if you would like to go back and see the discussion, I couldn't really sit there and talk that much because I was busy playing through the end of the game. We are this close to beating that game. There's all the DLC, which, if the chat wants me to go through, I will. But other than that, there's literally one boss fight left, and then it's the end of the game. It's been a really great debate in the Pig Kicker Society, actually. Yeah, I woke up, went back to it, I clicked, jumped to last red, and it literally couldn't go back all that way. It tried, it was like, I'm sorry, there's just too much. There's too much. But yeah, I don't understand. I'm kind of with Josh of that. Why are you trying to... You clearly hate this game. Stop. Just stop. Just stop. It's fine. No one cares if you like it or not. You can stop playing it. Like, and I keep comparing the thing where it's like, I'm trying to understand why you guys like StarCraft. That is just beyond me. trying to think, if I do go eat, what it is, I want to try and find something that I can eat while I play Dead by Daylight, because that way you guys aren't just sitting here watching me eat, I'm not on a food break, and we're at least doing something to make my brain fucking function. But I don't know what is good. Martin is a scientist at heart. He searches for universal truth. Seriously. I understand that. To me, though, this isn't a matter of universal truth. Like, this isn't about... I think what Martin can't separate is the idea of there is stuff it's doing that it's doing well and he still doesn't like it, but he's still calling it bad. Or he's like, these characters, like, he said earlier something about where it's like, this character is giving me no reason to care, as opposed to, I cared off of the same information he got. At the time, I had the same amount of information that he did when I first found that character, and I immediately was like, oh, I feel so bad for this character. Like, I immediately had an empathetic connection. And I think it's just, there's a layer of, even when it's doing something right, even when it's doing something well, it doesn't mean anything. Because, like, again, go back to StarCraft. I don't debate that StarCraft is good or bad. I just don't care. And I can recognize, oh, this is why it's doing it well. This is why it's doing it well compared to other things. This is why this is a good RTS. It still bores the living crap out of me, man. Like, RTSs I would almost prefer if they were single player. And I don't mean that in like you're playing against the computer. I mean if you were never competing against anyone or anything. If it was just like, ooh, if I mine this much more, I'll get these units. But then like the units don't do anything. There's a level of... There's a limit to appreciation. Like, I can appreciate the athleticism necessary in a sport. I don't care, man. The only sport I can bring myself to watch is League of Legends. I just think Martin is making himself miserable trying to find answers that he's already found and is just interpreting incorrectly. Because at the end of the day, this is a layer of, not even necessarily, how to put it? I mean, on a certain level, it's art. It's art appreciation. And it's the thing, again, the same thing with, like, if I was looking at a certain painter or sculptor, there are certain artists where, like, I know Josh brought up the music one in the G-chat where he's talking about, like, look, dude, there's certain musical artists and certain painting artists and sculptors and things like that I can go, oh, I see what you're doing and I understand why you're famous and I can see why you were revolutionary or why people look up to you. I hate everything you're doing. Picasso. He's a man of conviction, Spence, for better or for worse. Yeah, and again, I don't feel like it's like he's punishing himself because he hasn't found it. I think it's just the thing of he's found it and isn't... I don't think this is about conviction. I think this is about perspective. I think this is a matter of... all the things it does well don't work on him. There is also the possibility, I think Martin has a habit of, he's not willing to meet certain things halfway. Because I think he does it with League of Legends as well, as he starts off antagonistic to it, and it has to come get him. He's still idle, so I can keep talking about him in the third person as vague conjecture. But the gist is, I think it's kind of funny that he's torturing himself, but I'm like, dude, just stop. Just... Because I think he's very much at the point where it's like, you're not gonna learn anything if you're not... How to put it? I also know of a guy who was like equally skeptical to these games and was like, why the fuck do people like these? What is the possible appeal? And he basically just kept throwing himself at it, and it wasn't until he just had this revelation of like, oh, it's doing a thing that I like in other games. If I look at it in perspective of that game, very specifically, he was like, all right, this sucks. I'm going to go do something else. Wait a minute, that's a Metroidvania thing. I love Metroidvania games. Holy shit, I realize now this is just 3D Metroidvania. Once his mindset changed up to
to a point where he could find an appreciation. It kind of unlocked it the other way. I don't know if Martin's going to find that. Honestly, that's one of the things I love most about him, is that I disagree with him on a lot of things. Yeah, I learned a hell of a lot talking to him. Yeah, and even in the chat earlier when I was streaming, I really need to stress, I don't disagree with him. I just don't, like, every point he brings up is like, fair. If that's the effect it's having on you, that's the effect it's having on you. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to tell him he's wrong or argue that, he's playing it wrong or any shit like that. Mostly what I stand by is I don't think it's gonna work on him. And, the same way, like, I know there's a lot of people who think Attack on Titan is bad. You're free to believe that, and I can see why you think that. You're never gonna diminish to me what Attack on Titan taught me or the things that I think it inarguably does well. Even if people argue it's like, oh, there's other ones that do it better. Cool. That doesn't mean that it does it poorly. Dark Souls is kind of the same way to me, where it's like, there are certain things it does fucking phenomenally at a time when no one else was doing it, or at least no one else was doing it well. And it's that thing of, it's taught me a lot about game design, both good and bad. And it kind of is never going to stop being that exemplar of it. I also I've said it numerous times. Bloodborne's better. Bloodborne does everything Dark Souls does, but better. And it cooler looking. But, and I mean, arguably Demon Souls does everything Dark Souls does. I don't know what, Dark Souls I think is just the correct mix that gets people into it, because I don't want to go back and play Demon Souls. But, I kind of lost my own train of thought. I do think it's one of those, until the new Dark Souls comes along. And I don't mean that in, like, whatever From Software does next. I mean, like, a game that does everything Dark Souls does, everything Bloodborne does, but so much better and with its own voice so much better than Dark Souls that it basically goes, oh yeah, it's just play this instead of Dark Souls and you don't need to worry about ever playing Dark Souls. Until that comes along, Dark Souls is going to be, like, to me, a tentpole of, like, you need to play this to understand, like, I still maintain Dark Souls is the best in the form of, is the best in the sense of, there is a story that happened, there's a story happening around you. You have a critical role in this story. This story is not about you. Mixed with, this is how you should design your games in terms of difficulty curve. In that the player should be learning to play the game, and that's the difficulty curve, not the player's power level is the difficulty curve. Although in my stream, in my playthrough of Dark Souls and Sam, there's a part I'm going to warn Sam about because it's bullshit, and I'm about to go do it on tomorrow's stream, which is out of nowhere. Like, again, it's one of the missteps of Dark Souls is they all of a sudden change the rules on you and not in a good way. But they pull the bullshit of there's an unwinnable fight, which has never happened before or since, and that unwinnable fight curses you, and it's the fuck you, dude. I'm always a sucker for the moderate cog in the wheel approach. It makes the in-game world feel so much more alive. Yeah. I agree. I love the idea of, like, this world keeps going whether you're involved or not. Or, actually, in Dark Souls, that idea of this world is dying, nothing to do with you. This world set its own doom in motion, and this isn't even you're here to save it. You're way too late to save it. All of that already happened, and that's the tragedy element, is no, this world killed itself out of its own fear, basically. Fear of irrelevance, fear of the dark, fear of dying, the fear of going gently into that good night killed it. It's on, and it's lying here on its deathbed. As I've said over and over, you are this world's euthanasia. Fuck that. The Call of Duty Modern Warfare segment where you're not the Spec Ops superhero too. Yeah, that moment's fucking great. And they handle that well because they've already established there's other characters, other things, and you've been hopping from character to character. You can hop to other characters. and it's not the end of the world. So yeah, and basically that is a great moment for shaking you out of this is not the ooh-rah story that you think it is, even though they've been telling that to you, and it's why they just smack that out of your hand, and it's so great. Dark Souls is really great about the, like, everyone here is just trying to make their own way. Every undead, every NPC you meet is just trying to make it. Even Patches is preying off of other people. Petrus is a shithead. Lautrec has his own goal. Rhea has her own goal. Laurentius is pretty okay with it. He actually is pretty glad he's undead. Solaire has his own goal. Sigmire has his own goal. You don't know what yours is. You're just given the same vague one everyone else is, and it's only through perseverance and success that you find out your goal is greater than everyone else's. Your goal is what everyone else's is ultimately, but you're the one who's competent is really what it comes down to. You're the one who's willing to move forward. I think it's actually very telling that again, Dark Souls' visual storytelling is fucking powerful, I say, talking. We're on Screenplay Saturday, but you got me going on this. Dark Souls' visual storytelling is one of the best examples I've seen in any game anywhere, in that it's not an accident that none of the NPCs move. They always hold still, and they never move unless you're not looking. They're always holding still. They're always just sitting there. And yes, is it a facet of the animating budget and making it so that they don't have to animate thing? Yes, they worked it into their story correctly, in that you're the character who's always moving forward. You're the character who's actually doing something. You're the character who is participating, and that makes you the hero. And that is the actual definition of a protagonist, is that the plot moves forward based on your actions. The idea that this world has stagnated and will sit here rotting until someone does something, and you as the player, the one literally given agency and control, are the one who makes things happen. You're the one who makes the world turn. You ring the bells, you end the lives of the poisoned inhabitants of this world, from Quelaag to Nito to Seath to what's left of Izalith. You open the gates, you place the Lord Vessel, you gather the souls, you fix everything. And again, it's elements like this. It's like, I can explain this to Martin. He can see it. I feel like Martin is still going to be like, yeah, but it's not working on me. Okay, that means it's not working on you, not it's bad. That's all that means. It means you're not... And I don't think he's going to be willing to accept that he's just not wired to enjoy this game. Mixed with, he might have needed to break through the wall on his own. I think, honestly, his most of his enjoyment is going to come from me playing this and possibly Sam playing it. Honestly, actually, I think one of his best sources, if Martin wants to enjoy this, is go watch Dan from Extra Credits play Dark Souls 1, because he does a blind playthrough, but he also reads everything and learns and pieces it together, and he does a great post-mortem afterwards of, like, what does this all mean? And he just does such a great job, I think, for people who want to get in or don't want to play it but kind of want to understand it. And it says, Martin's here. We were just talking about you for 30 minutes. Actually, it's closer to 20, but we have been talking about you in Dark Souls for like 20 minutes. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My internet literally just broke for a second. Like, I had no Wi-Fi, no internet connection whatsoever. And I wish I knew why, but I hate to say it, that just happens sometimes. Who knows, because Frontier. And Frontier sucks. But, yeah, we were talking Dark Souls, and I was in the middle of a point, and then I forgot what it was because the internet broke. Also, I'm going to have to refresh this page because I don't think it's working correctly. Are you going to work, internet? Yeah, there's no viewer list. And as far as I can tell, there's... Okay, now... Feel free to sound off in chat, but yeah, I think I fixed it. No idea why that happened. And I'm still hungry. And now I lost my flow of Dark Souls, but... Was the stream cutting out intentional? No, that was... Like, the internet broke. It literally... Like, I had a red light, and it was blinking, and it just shut off. I had no internet connection to anything for a bit. Also, after talking about Dark Souls and stuff like that, I kind of want to just finish the damn game. But tonight is Screenplay Saturday, and I don't want to ruin that. Especially since, oh well, no, I guess I'm not streaming tomorrow because aren't we supposed to do? We're supposed to do D&D, guys. You're cutting D&D is cutting into my stream schedule. Guess we can't do it. That or I'll just have to start earlier, or I'll stop earlier and start later. I'll do two. It'll be like the other day where I had to go, stop, pick up later, and keep going. Anyway. Oh, I was still adding stuff in. What happens if he catches a push? Feel free to pick up the conversation. I just forgot what we were talking about. Like what note I left on. I said something about whips. I forgot that whips were a weapon because I think I was just talking about how expansive I like how many nooks and crannies the lore and elements can go into, and like how much of the world you find out just by like reading like Shiva of the East's gear and being like, oh, that's what his country is like, or like reading about, because what is it? There's Astora Kareem, the East, which is just sort of vague, the Great Swamp, Vinheim, which is the sorcerer area. Trying to think if there's any others. Those are the ones I remember off the top of my head. But yeah, it's not even just vague names. They're like, no, these places have a stylistic personality to them as well as a theme. And like Vinheim is the sorcery place. Would you mind downloading the pieces of the stream later so I can patch them together in editing? Remind me to do that. Either text me or, either text me or just mention it again at the end of the chat. But real quick, I want to check something. Aha! Martin is playing Dark Souls. Martin, stop! We're trying to... Stop punishing yourself for no reward. There's nothing for you. There's nothing for you in the souls of darkness. He said his strength build was rewarding him at least. Yeah, no, he's doing a... I don't know what weapon he's ultimately going for, but I know he was at the very least using the Einshanda, as we've dubbed it, where you one-hand the Zweihanda. God, I just want to play Dark Souls now. Guys, you're ruining me. We're turning Screenplay Saturday into Spencer ranting about game design and hunger and wanting to play a different game Saturday. No, Twitch, do not screw up again. Although it wasn't Twitch that screwed up, it was my internet. How far are you on the screenplay? Are you on the third act yet? Yeah, we were on the third act last week. I've actually written quite a bit. The beginning of this stream was me rereading what we wrote last time, which is basically giant action sequence so far. And then I realized I want to go back and I've gone too far. Gone too far. Here we are. This is page 46. I felt a disturbance in the force. I knew you were live. Hi, Karina. We're sort of live. You missed where the internet broke for like a solid minute. Funnily, it's been an hour. I've written 4 lines. Spent about 30 minutes talking about Dark Souls, and now I might actually go on a food break. But I'm trying to figure. If I do, I need to go grab something that I can eat on stream while writing, because we're here to write. We're here to write. Damn it. I'm very tired. You can go back further, lol. I know nothing about your story. Yeah, don't worry about it. You can watch the replays on YouTube should you be interested. If you want to watch it come together. But, yeah. Ugh. Sorry, I'm not all here. I'm exhausted and I literally haven't eaten today. I had a cookie on stream 4 or 5 hours ago. Alright, so anyway, you can only chase one of us. Time is spent chasing me is time you can spend fixing these things safely. So catch up. One of us damn will better come save you. I'm confident we can all escape in one piece if we help each other. Go. Alright, cool. I think that's enough for now. I can edit that specifically later. Do. Oh, man. Where do we go from here? Where do we go now? Oh, where do we go? Nice plug for the YouTube. I mean, that's... Aside from being the place where you can find our original content, as well as our sketches and non-Let's Play videos, it's the best place to catch up on the streams. Because all the streams, except for my daily ones, end up on the YouTube channel. I mean, originally the Twitch only existed to plug the YouTube, but it's slowly growing into a larger entity. It's a trip. It's because it's easier and quicker to make streams than it is to make produced videos. These don't have editing. Oh, soreness. I mean, this particular Screenplay Saturday video would be about 10 minutes long of me actually doing writing and not ranting about Dark Souls. And getting distracted so easily. I think, God, so hungry. So tired. I absolutely love the interactivity here, too. I feel like I'm posting to a brick wall most of the time on the other social medias, whereas I can directly interact with the viewers on here. You can. And that's a side effect of us having 3 viewers. Counting ourself. We'd have 4 if you made a separate account. But it means I can react to every one of you, whereas assuming we had like 1,000 viewers all posting, I would not be able to talk to all of them. I would try, because man, do I love people listening to me. But yeah, and I think the interactivity is a lot of fun for this particular stream. Just God, I'm being bad tonight of the being hungry and tired and drifting off. Although you missed it earlier, Jill, I did a real... We went to this area, I got stuck, looked up the wiki. While I was on the wiki, brought up the lobby. Came back with the answers from the wiki, solved the thing, got to the boss fight, spoke to the boss fight, because it's a boss fight that doesn't try to kill you, made a joke based off of, like, I was pointing and beckoning her over, like, come here and look at this murder beach, you're fucking lying to me. Jumped off the edge, and then Martin goes, hey, you still have the lobby up. I'm like, motherfuck, everything I did was just blank screen to the stream. This is why we don't put my daily streams on YouTube, because I'm stupid. I'm so stupid. Yeah, it's pretty weird with a bajillion comments going off once. And a boop. I see that boop. Spence, if you have the means, just order in. You need to eat. If I lived nearby, I would feed you. Aw. Use a sweet. But, I mean, we're at 8 o'clock. This is normally where I take a break anyway. I might just go run out and grab something. But, I suppose there is Jimmy John's. Eat24 takes cash, DoorDash doesn't. If you hate pizza, check Eat24 or DoorDash. It's a learning experience, Spence. We still have ass-backwards tech problems sometimes, and it's almost been a year. True. This was my fault, though. I just completely spaced on bringing on the love because I was so focused on, like, where is this fucking switch? I know it exists. I've walked past it. I've done everything on this level. Where the fuck is it? And I had, in fact, walked past it because it's dark where it is. Real dark. Yeah, tell you what. I will purposely go to the lobby. Oh, it's still Dark Souls. Whoops. See what I mean by stupid? Boop. 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 Acceptable boop. Worst one I've ever done was record an entire video with Rob without getting any fucking video. That was so balls. Yeah, no, that'll happen. But, I'll be on the lobby, because I think I will take your guys' suggestion, just so I can at least stop rambling about it. Do you know who does deliver? Jimmy John's. Jimmy John's delivers. And they're not cheap, but they're reasonable. Oh my god, that's awful, Dill. I think I would have cried. The lack of video, I mean. Yeah, no, it's... Jimmy John's is downright edible. It sure is. I actually really like them. And that's one of the things I will always credit Rob with, because Rob is the one who introduced me to them back when we were at PAX and they weren't in California. They were, like, only up in the, like, Pacific Northwest. He's like, oh, you haven't had Jimmy John's? Come on! And we did, and it was so good. Well, oh. They don't deliver. Not to me specifically. They're not even that fucking far away from me. Why don't they deliver? What's their dealio? Well, if I have to go out and pick up food, I'm probably just going to get McDonald's. They forced my hand. You usually have to roll with the punches. We have a lot of vids that never made it. Rob and I did a great horror vid with this darling indie drone game. and the audio was a clusterfuck and we couldn't use it. That was the worst one. Spence and I also lost some vids. We lost a lot of it. The tail end of the binary domain videos started just having god-awful frame rate issues. No idea why. Didn't change computer or anything. Everything was the same. Started sucking. Atomic 79 was lost, and I think that was one of the best videos we've ever done. God. And some of it was lost to just garbage video game, because, Uncanny Valley's second video I don't think ever came out, because that game sucked. I also cut a lot of content because editor. Rest in peace, Atomic 79. What was the drone game called? Because I don't think I've ever heard of this. I'm not even sure what you mean by drone game. I like the second Uncanny Valley vid. You had some great discussions about depression on there. I should resurrect it. Wasn't that the one where we decided, fuck this, we're never, everything we did was for nothing and we got the same ending? Or am I thinking of this, or I should say the second recording session, not the second video. Karina, if you're talking about the Atomic 79 thing, it's because Atomic 79 is not only a good game, we had some fascinating discussions, and I was using it as a comparison to Binary Domain about how it's a dumb, cute little shooter game that still does so much more than this massive triple... Like, it's literally an indie game made by two people. It's just this little arena shooter that's super cute and super fun, and it was infinitely better on every level than Binary Domain, a game made by Sega, of all people. That was exactly what happened with Uncanny Valley. But the conversations were really deep. Oh, okay. I do think our talks were great, but yeah, God, Uncanny Valley was bad. That was infuriating, getting to that second part. And for what? The indie horror game was Shudder, by the way. Oh, I heard about that. It has primitive graphics, but it's fun and original. We could try that again on stream or something. We still have to do Talos Principle. We've literally been saving it for stream. And Martin suggested it. Martin requested it, in fact. And I was like, cool, I don't have Talos Principle. You know who does have Talos Principle? Dylan. Dylan's got the Talos Principle. I went on lobby to try and order food, and I can't order food. I should come off lobby so that we can look at a different screen that doesn't change. No, you know what? I'm going to go on lobby. I'm going to go on official break. I will be back in like 15 minutes. There will be eating on stream, but I can eat and write a screenplay at the same time. So I will be back in a bit. You guys talk amongst yourselves. I will see you in a little while. I'm back. Go back to talking about me. Aw, Karina burned herself. Now missing part of my fingerprint. Oof. Spanish Pokemon theme. The dream, really. So I got salad. It was downstairs and quick and easy to make. Salad is barely food, but it is food. You need protein. Look at you. What about me? Also, there's cheese on here, so that's protein. Protein is good long-burning energy, and it's more filling than salad. Yeah, I don't have any readily available. Also, yesterday was like nothing but protein. It was hamburgers and chicken strips and things like that. Carbohydrates are also good long-burning energy, but you know. Really, food, at this point, I don't really need the energy. I need to eat literally anything. This is breakfast. I also have a thing of hot chocolate every morning, which is milk. So, milk is protein. For real, eat more. Well, today's a weird day. I just didn't feel the need. I was more tired than hungry is what it was during the stream. So, I didn't feel the need to go get food. And after the stream, I fell asleep and was just unconscious. Also, I think you're underestimating how much there is under this shirt. I am not skinny. I'm not even really all that thin. I wouldn't say I'm in shape. No, you're not skinny, but most people need protein. Takes longer to burn because it has to be converted to sugar first, so it carries you through longer. Okay. I believe you. Again, normally I'm fine. Today's a weird day. And I got cheese on the salad. Cheese is protein. Well, that salad bowl is gigantic. It is! And the salad fills... I mean, this is... If you ever go to the store and see those, like, bags of, like, fresh and easy salad, it's one of those bags just dumped in here. And then I add my dressing, Parmesan cheese. I actually put in some pepper jack for extra filling. I didn't have any, like,
ready to go sliced up chicken or anything. Otherwise, I would have loved to throw that in. But we're out at the moment. I meant to get some the other day. I just spaced. Why ew? Well, I mean, it's romaine, cabbage, and carrots. And then you have some cheese. And God, I would have killed for some chicken, but we don't have any. And I didn't have time to go grab it. Because I've actually been craving like some nice hot, like those, the chicken, they're under heat lamps and stuff, but like the full chickens you see, like I saw one the other day that looked so good and we just didn't have time. And I've been regretting it since, because that sounds real good, especially right now. Just shred some chicken and throw it in here. So you need protein. Even you want it. Yeah, I agree. I also said I don't have any. Arguably what I need is to keep working on the screenplay. But we'll get to that in a few minutes because I'm like halfway done. Also, the salad helps balance out that yesterday's 2 meals were McDonald's and Jack in the Box. So, I'd like to eat something besides fast food burger places right now. I will probably still do it later tonight when I want lunch. But, better not to do it 3 meals in a row. Computer's making a noise. So my counter says 10 people were sitting here watching you eat. Just dropped to 5. Mine has been 4 and has always been 4. I think you're full of crap. I came out harsher than it was meant to be. And if they were, I apologize that they showed up at break time. And now there's a cat who's going to come in here. Hello, cat. It's at 4 now. I don't know what to say. Yeah, it's always been at 4 for me. I just think your thing was lying to you. At the very least, I'm going to come off the lobby screen, though. That way we can stare at screenplay. Hi, Flint. You're cute, but you're here to steal my food. It was hilarious. I watched it spike, then drop. Yep. Hi, kitty. How you doing, Kat? Are you here to help? If so, I'm gonna get suspicious, because that doesn't sound like you. Okay. He probably shouldn't miss this swing. I think that's what's throwing me off, is I'm not sure where to go from here, and I think what it is he should end up hitting Meg, who's wounded, which means she'll go down while Jake runs away. He, actually. Flint's a guy. And he left. And if he wants beautiful prose, he can fuck off, because this is a screenplay. We're not here for the prose. Looks like a situation where everyone's gonna die real fast. I mean, we're at the end of the we're at the end of a horror movie. I think everyone is. I honestly think everyone dies, but that's one of the things we're here to solve tonight. Well, we were before I got super distracted and kind of loopy. Which is the ending. We have to figure out how this ends. And the ending in my head... Actually, I think I'll write that right now. Because that sounds like a thing. Page break, real quick. If Meg goes down, is Jake just going to leave her? For now, yes. Because it's one of those things of they're both right here. The killer's right here. He downs her. If he sticks around, he can get downed as well. And that's on a gameplay level. It's that thing where it makes sense for people to just sort of back away. Oh, that's weird. Now mine says there's 10 people watching. But I'm pretty sure that's impossible. We don't know 10 people. Well, it lied to you before. Yeah, and if I go to the viewer list, there's only 3 of us here. Dude, auto-hosting. Well, yeah, there's some auto-hosting. But,
Um, yeah, we're staring at a in the game and just in real life logistical things. Um, uh, it doesn't make sense for Jake to like stop and try and help her when the killer is right there and just hit her. And also, Jake is, again, we're using the stand-in names, but Jake is the loner character, so it makes sense that he's like, I'm getting out of here and saving myself. As in my head, Meg is the one who makes it the longest. So I think for right now, she's going to get hit. Whoops. So the killer thinks Meg is unconscious, so he follows Jake as he tries to escape, maybe? I mean, she is following the rules of the game. She is down on the ground and crawling, because she's been wounded and has not been unwounded since. I have returned! It's exciting times, Dylan. We have salad. So she's on a hook, so she's not moving unless she gets free. Yeah. Someone's gonna come save her. Or she'll be the one case of getting herself off the hook. I was kind of hoping for that, but no expectations. Hoping for what? What's happening with Dwight and the other chick right now? They were healing. That's where we left off. We have 2 generators. They were getting healed. Cut to Jake was working on one when the trapper catches him. No, torture's not really a thing that happens in the game. And arguably, it's enough torture them getting wounded, bleeding, running around, put on hooks, and hung out to dry. Can you repeat all that, please? Torture's not really a thing from the game. To say nothing of the situation they're going through is torture enough. Everything that, like, them getting hung up on the hooks, them having to bleed and run around and things like that. That's torture enough. And it's really just, it's not a thing from the game, and I see no need for it to be a thing here, because I kind of like the cold servitude that all of the killers have, where they're just like, this is just a job. The only torturing you can do in the game is, like, when they're on the hook, you can keep hitting them, but it doesn't do anything. It's actually detrimental. And the only time it ever makes sense to do it for me is on the last person if they're struggling. Because it's that thing where it's like, well, we're all being held up by you here, struggling instead of just ending this, so I'm just going to wail on you. Because we have lives we'd like to get to, thanks. Okay, so yeah, so the trapper would leave her on the hook and follow Jake, presumably, unless he knows where Dwight and Claudette are healing. Exactly, no, and he's just gonna put her up and then go after Jake. Because also, so far, she's had, like, all the action sequences. And Jake had a really tense moment. I actually think what's gonna happen is he's gonna hang Meg, a generator is gonna go off, and then he's gonna go find, Dwight and Claudette. Because that's the thing, in a game, the flow from hopping from character to character to character makes total sense. In that it's completely opportunistic. Hmm. Struggles and pulls on the hook. Nearly lifting herself off a few times, but falling back onto it with grunts of pain each time. The entity grows all over the hook while she does so. Meg sees the massive spiked leg forming above her. Same one that claimed Rachel and Benedict. As it finishes forming above her, she gives one final effort and pulls herself free of the hook. Landing hard and gasping. The entity has vanished from the hook when she looks back. This is all like one sequence, so yeah. Now we cut to a new sequence. Whoa. That doesn't look right. Nope, wrong button. Oh yeah, now it's all red because I was using red earlier. Cool. How? He behind an old some old tractor treads. Backhoe. treads and pulls out his map. Crossing off another generator. Adding an X where the newest generator activated, and we see two other X's representing and I don't want to use the bear traps for a bit. I basically want the audience to forget about them the same way the cast would forget about them. And now that we're at 3 generators, someone has to die. And frankly, it's probably going to be Jake. No, actually, it's probably going to be Dwight. And as much as I hate this idea, I hate the term, like, there's people who are like, oh, we gotta, like, I know a lot of, like, producers and stuff where it's like, it's a horror movie, you gotta have a body count, and I hate that idea, but in this case, when there's only 4 people, we do need to have some people dying, because that is the essence of the game at the end of the day. God, it does not feel like it's been almost 2 hours. Because it kind of makes sense, if Dwight is our leader character, it makes sense to have the leadership get removed first, and basically, like, you just cut the head off of the leadership, and then the rest start going down too. Now, one thing we're not incorporating into the story that is an absolute element of the game, and I'm gonna question, and I've questioned this the whole time, is the heartbeat. The idea that the closer the killer gets, the louder the thump 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 thump, and then like the music picks up, and in the game that builds the tension. Because it almost becomes a push your luck mechanic enforced by other players. It becomes this idea of like, are you going to stick around? Are you going to hide? Are you going to hide in plain sight? Are you going to try and make a break for better hiding but potentially reveal yourself?
But in the screenplay, we're making it so that the killer is much more traditional slasher killer, and that he kind of comes out of nowhere. In that, he surprises the audience and the cast numerous times. Which isn't to say that doesn't happen in the game, it's just it's under very different circumstances. But in the game, the heartbeat builds tension. It builds, it's supposed to be nerve-wracking. It's supposed to be like, oh god, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. Because you spend the whole game looking around like, where is he? Where is he? And then you hear the thump, 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 thump. And you know he's getting closer, but you don't know it from direction. I say he, there's 2 female killers. In this, I've ignored that largely, and I think it's just because of the ease of I need to get this rough draft down on paper and then we'll fix it later. But I'm also not entirely sure how you implement the heartbeat in real life, I should say. And I say real life in the sense of like, because this is a realistic attempt at this story. So if I were to do... Because you can do it on the soundtrack. That's real easy, where you hear the thump, 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 and like the music building, and you literally just use the soundtrack of the game. But then, and I suppose you just have that thing where like you establish where everyone has that, because this is something supernatural, everyone has that like sixth sense of like, no, he's coming and he's getting closer and I know where he is. And I know specifically where he is, but I know he's getting closer, and like we could use that for tension. But I don't know. Because then you also get the thing where in the like in the game there is no surprise unless you're the trapper, where the trapper, the surprise is, oh, you fell in a bear trap. I like hiding in plain sight. Then again, I'm black and that's easy outside at night in the right clothes. Is the heartbeat slow or fast? Would it be the trapper's heart or his victims? Have you not watched me play Dead by Daylight before? Because if you stick around for another 30 minutes, you're going to see that. It's the survivor's heartbeat. It's the idea of their heartbeat getting faster and faster as this predator closes in on them. And again, you can explain it that way, where in that, like, because you're in this place, like, your senses are supernaturally tuned to, there is something chasing you. Not yet, I work 40 a week. Fair. But it's an actual mechanic of the game, in that it's how the survivors know that the trapper is getting close, or that the killer at all is getting close. And there's perks and abilities and certain characters who just mess with the heartbeat in general. Michael Myers, as a playable character, you can't hear the heartbeat unless he's almost on top of you. And they're playing with this idea, the idea of he always kind of comes out of nowhere and surprises you. And it's supposed to be that thing of like, oh, I had no idea where he was until he was on top of me. Oh, I almost put that in all caps. And the trapper is standing right there. And the trapper is barely 10 feet from him. Looks over just as Dwight peeks up. Oh, wait, no. You know what? Let's do this. Let's do this again. I'm not getting all that innovative with this right now. I just want this on the page. I do kind of like the
This is not a new joke or even not necessarily all that funny. I kind of like it though. The trapper is looking around some 50 feet away. You don't even need to quite explain it supernaturally. Everyone has a survival instinct. It's about how weak or strong your survival instinct is. Yeah, but this is literally like, this isn't based off of like, I heard something or, man, I feel the need to get away. It's, you're literally sitting there working on something and then you start hearing thum 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 thum. And then like you hear like the bar, 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 bar. Like the music picks up too. And it's all just based off of proximity to the killer. Where it like, I'm like shouting and I don't know why. I suddenly got really loud. I do that from time to time. Stupid shirt used to fit a lot better. Yeah, it's not based off of anything of like, did you hear a twig snapping or anything, or did you see him? It's literally like through the walls. You're just suddenly aware he's coming closer. Yeah, you know how the hair on the back of your neck crawls when someone is watching you from a distance? And I believe that's it. And I would explain it, like, I would have someone say almost that exact thing. If, like, you've never felt the hair stand on it, your hair stand on it, or just know someone was watching you, or, like, feel like you're suddenly not alone. It's that, but magnified because of proximity to the entity. Like, that, and I actually imply it earlier on. So where is it? Okay, Jake approaching a generator by himself. He crouches down and gets to work, expertly using his tools to get the generator chugging. He stops suddenly, concentrating, then scrambles behind some cover. Moments later, the trapper walks up to the generator. That was supposed to be the idea of, like, he's like, I know the trapper's on his way over here, I better hide. But we might just have it be the heartbeat. And we'll see. So there's two ways this can go. Dwight can either do the... You know what? You know what? I prefer this. Whirls around the trapper right behind him in mid-swing. Dwight gets hit and sent stumbling. The blow, and a new chase begins. The heartbeat can come with all of that. If you've never been in a situation where you were too close to danger and knew it before the shit popped off, it's just like everything you're describing. Having lived an extremely privileged white suburban life, I have no idea what danger actually looks like. My family is under the impression that slightly tan people are what danger looks like, so I don't have the best guides or reference material. How smart is Dwight really? I mean, what I have is everyone in this story is supposed to be smart enough. I'm trying to avoid the idea of like, oh yeah, you want to see these people die, or like any of them are unlikable. Like, honestly, the goal is to have all of them be likable or at least understandable, and you don't want to see any of them get hurt or die or anything like that. But, like, none of them are, like, geniuses, I would per se. Even though Dwight is the nerdy-looking dude, he's the leader. I don't want him to be like, guys, I've come up with a plan of if we mix this formula with this machine, we'll get a reaction of, like, or even necessarily, like, Home Alone, or, like, having him be a genius so much as, just because at the end of the day, like, there's not a lot of room for smart in the game. There's some, but it mostly has to do with reaction times, running away, and being smart about, like, not getting caught in the first place. They spend the first half of this story not getting caught, and not getting caught means there's no killer, and it means nothing happens. And don't get me wrong, there will have to be some liberties we take with the game, the transition from game to script. That's the nature of an adaptation and the nature of switching mediums completely. Because in the game, the pacing doesn't get thrown off by that because everyone is constantly doing something. Like, a survivor who's playing the game and never sees the killer is fine because they're still always working on stuff, they're always doing something, and that's what they want because they're trying to win. In story terms, it's not that we want to, it's better to keep the killer mostly hidden, we don't see it for a long time, and just add to that sense of dread. But it's also that thing of, Dead by Daylight isn't trying to tell a story, so it can be constantly in action. We can't, because we have to explain things. Not just what's happening, but the characters. And here's the thing, assume this ever gets sequels. Assume I ever come back and write more Dead by Daylights about different killers. Those ones will be at an advantage because they're not going to have to explain what's going on. They don't have to explain the entity. They don't have to explain the killers. They don't have to explain the sacrifices. They don't have to explain the trial. They just have to explain the four characters, their interactions, and why they're here. And why they decided to do this and why they don't just leave. This one has to cover a lot more. And one of the things I'm leaving out is the idea that there's not a lot of interpersonal conflict with the survivors. It's just their conflict against the entity and the killer, as well as their conflict of, like, we need something badly, but they're not mad at each other. They're not conflicting with each other. And, they're not, how to put it, I don't want to spend any time on, like, oh, they're stupid, or they're learning, of, like, their intelligence comes from any information they get can immediately be applied. Their intelligence comes from, they're not doing anything stupid, and, like, they're never doing, like, oh man, I better go into this darkened room, or, oh man, I better, I heard a noise. What was that? Katie? Katie, is that you? Katie, are you bleeding? Like none of that. All of them getting caught is them not being fast enough, or not, like, they're just in a shit situation that's kind of rigged against them. I asked how smart Dwight is because he's going to try and run and hide, or would he try and slow down the trapper? He can do both, fortunately. Also, what is the entity? So the entity... Honestly, I'm gonna stop right here for the night. I know tonight was not super progressive. We made a lot, and I was hoping to make it further, but my plans got thrown off. We're gonna move on to the game so I can kind of explain. We're also gonna try not to deafen everyone. I will show you the answers to most of your questions. Come on. Oh, there. By the way, I'm going to show you this cutscene again. This is supposed to happen. This happens at the opening of our screenplay. I tried to keep almost all of this at the opening. The only weird thing is that this is set in the Coldwood Farm map. Ours is not. Now, this is deviated from what we have happened, because we have someone else hiding in... We have someone hiding in the locker, but it's not the person we're following. The person... we find out the character I mentioned earlier named Benedict Baker, who's the traitor character, he's hiding in the locker. Fuck is that thing? Is that a person? That's our killer. That's the trapper. That's the monster of our movie. And yeah, it's a person. Mostly. It's wearing its father's skull as a mask, and it has a bunch of, like, railroad spikes and shit through its skin. The thing she was hiding from in the locker. Yep. That's the trapper. What are my dailies? I'll get rid of this one. Sabotage the equivalent of 7 hooks. That's actually pretty easy to do. Catch 9 survivors in bear traps. Maybe someday. We'll see. I will show you. Be a killer. We're going to play as the killer, though. So... every one of these is potentially its own movie, with the exception of this one, because this one's obviously Michael Myers from the Halloween movies. He was DLC. This one's my favorite. The nurse, who's a ghost. But yeah, this is the trapper. Mine has glowing eyes. He's not supposed to have glowing eyes. But yeah, that's him. That's our villain. I'm not going to play as him, though, because I suck. We're going to play as the hillbilly. I'm actually okay as him. And I'll be able to show you most of what this game is about right now. Also...
There we go. Oh, my face is blocking their face. I'm sorry. I'll show you in a second. I'll after this game. This'll work. Because I still don't have the perks I need. Okay, so here we have, this is Claudette, this is also Claudette, this is also Claudette, which is going to happen a lot because she's broken right now. And this is Dwight, but he's been modified. I got Google, I can look them up. Yeah, but I want to show you all of them after this anyway, because I can show you all 4 of the characters. But even then, I keep stressing, I'm probably not going to use the characters from this game. Partially because right now, in my head, it just makes so much sense to have the Meg character make it to the end, even if she doesn't live all the way through this whole thing. Then you just run into the weird politics of, well, the 2 ethnic characters, because one's Asian, one's black, they die. And as it is, in my head, the way that the story flows based off of the roles those characters play, the 2 white people make it the longest, and I don't want to do that. Sure, it's a white girl who makes it to the end, but yeah, that hasn't been done in a horror movie before, Jamie Lee Curtis. So I'm probably going to swap out the characters. I'm just using their names for now, because each of the original 4 filled a role, and I'm using those roles as their archetypes, and it's easier to keep them straight in my head if I just use their names before I swap them out. I'm probably going to swap them out. I do the same thing with the names and the roles with things like this. Yeah, especially since ultimately what we're doing is fan fiction, but I'm also just constantly aware of the politics involved both in the horror genre in general and just screenwriting in general. Alright, so, generators, wooden pallets, red lockers. I can see the generators through the walls, so I know where to patrol. They can't. Also, I said I'll show you the entity. I hope I will. That depends entirely on how well this game goes. And we chainsawed someone. So, normally it takes 2 hits to knock someone to the ground. I do it in 1 if I hit them with the chainsaw. Oh, you sons of bitches. There's someone in here. There he is. And they're working on the generator. The person who was helping them work on the generator went back to working on the generator the second I walked away. Here they are. And there's the flashlight. I knew she was going to do that, though. God damn it, she insta-healed her teammate. That is so frustrating. Come here. Wow, your flashlight lasts forever. God, she's so quick! Yep, and they finished the generator. God, this is going so poorly for me. Hello, other player. I'm just gonna hang this person up. Yeah, they're right behind me. Go on, shoo. This is where we put them on hooks. Alright, so this is not a great example because she's at like full health. I'll have to come back if I hang her up again.
The entity... The short answer is the entity is the dark god that I work for as the killer. It's this spider-looking thing that slowly comes to claim them on the hooks. Oh, look. Scratch marks. Who would have thought that they were going to run inside to help? Fuck's sake. Alright, we've hit 3 of them. Dang it. Tricked you! Damn it, but I missed, so... And they're all fully healed already. God, I hate self-heal right now. It's so broken. Okay. Idiots. Oh, come on! That's annoying. Nope, not what I wanted. That's the entity! That thing that's trying to kill her? Oh, God damn it with the fucking flashlight! I mean, they keep coming to me, so this is kind of working out. But yeah, that's the entity, and it slowly forms while you're just hanging on the hook. Oh, that fucking perk. And am I gonna leave her hanging? Yes, you're supposed to. I hate this. There it is. Okay. That's what they always do. Hey, look, I found him. And this is what happens to someone who's on the hook too long. And in the screenplay, that has happened twice. Okay. Thanks for screwing that up, dude. He was trying to stun me, and I would have dropped her if he had done it correctly, but he didn't. So now she's dead too. Fuck both of you. They were so irritating. Okay, so I know they're over to the left. I'm gonna break this. They're around here somewhere. So the words "the dark god that you work for" just sold me on this game, right? And in the screenplay, it's a mystery up until about the halfway point of the story. where all of a sudden we see indisputable proof that there is something supernatural happening here. Because while no one else can see the entity, in the screenplay, in the game everyone can see it, but again, that's a game mechanic. There it is. Yep, I knew it. In the screenplay, no one except who's on the hook can see the entity. So when someone dies, it's just these invisible things suddenly stabbing you. Go on, jump it. They're making good progress. Oh, now they're both here. Oh, he messed it up, but so did I, because I got afraid that he was gonna stun me and balked. Yeah. I already broke most of these, lady. You ran in the wrong way. Nowhere to go, my dear. This person's named Nurse Dwight. There's a Dwight in the game. They're not playing as Dwight. That's not actually that funny. Just kind of funny. And you're really far away from all of the generators he can be working on. So, if he wants to come help you, he's in trouble. Alright. So he's at... There's one over there or two over here. And if he's not there, he's coming to help her, which means he's far away from finishing these. It's not this one. It's this one. But from the looks of it, he left to go help. Oh, but she's dead. Oh. Oh. Well then. So this is his only way out now. This is called the Black Hatch. It's an option for... He's gonna get out anyway, because there's nothing I can do. It's an option for when there's only one survivor left. Instead of them having to power all the generators, they can just go through the hatch. That was a pretty good match. Screw these people. These two specifically. I'm glad I killed them immediately. This game is hilarious. I love it. I'm gonna play a game as the survivors, though, to show you the difference. Also, real quick. Okay, so... This is the Trapper. Normally, he doesn't have glowing eyes. Mine has glowing eyes because I've customized him a little bit. But your options are the Trapper, the Wraith, who was originally going to be the villain of our screenplay, but the Trapper's lower budget, and he actually... Like, there was a lot of reasons explained in one of the videos. Hillbilly, who's I play as, although I think he should be called the Crooked. The Nurse. And the Hag. This is Brandon's favorite character. But anyway, for now we're the Hillbilly, because I actually know how to play as him. This game is pretty sick. I love it to death. We have a video on our channel of, 5 of us getting to play at a time, and that video is pretty friggin' great. I want to do it again. We're having such a hard time organizing 5 people's schedules. The Hag is like the witch from Left 4 Dead. Shoot that bitch in the face. Yeah. Even the same thing in that she's got the claw and she eats people. This is Claudette. This is Dwight, although let me show you what they normally look like. Customize. This is the Dwight I'm largely picturing in our screenplay. This is basically Meg. She can do different hairstyles and stuff, but yeah, to me, this is Meg. You can see their default hairstyles here. This is Claudette. And this is Jake. My Jake looks pretty different. Let me... This is pretty normal Jake. But I like this one. And then they've added 2 other unique characters, and both of these characters are references. Because this is Bill from Left 4 Dead. Literally Bill from Left 4 Dead. Meg looks more likely to attempt to survive and arm herself than most of them. I get that feeling from her too, and that's why I kind of want to have her be the last one standing, like the most tenacious. But yeah, we have Bill from Left 4 Dead, and we have Laurie Strode from Halloween. We're leveling her up right now because she's broken as hell. Speaking of, I've got 20,000 XP. Okay. Small game is cool, and that'll max it out, but I'd rather come get her unique perks. Alright, and that's it for leveling up, because everything either costs 3, 5, or 8,000 points, so having 1,000 points gets me nothing. I tend to play as the killer. This, by the way, since you haven't kept up, this means I'm pretty good at this. Because this... You go anywhere from rank 20 to rank 1, with 1 being the highest. I'm at 3 and not far from getting to 1. But for now, we're going to play a survivor game real quick. And you'll see, I'm a shit survivor. Let's go medkit. Increases healing speed. 6 charges. 6 charges and increases healing speed. 10 charges. Let's do that. And we're gonna try and go to the McMillan estate. What are my challenges? Oh, I'm supposed to play as Bill, and I'm supposed to sabotage hooks. She accomplishes neither. I don't have Saboteur, do I? Oh, but I do have Toolbox. I have a lot of toolboxes, actually. Let's do that instead. That'll let me at least break hooks. Let's do this. This might take longer. Playing as a survivor is less consistent. We're going to bring this back. Nope. Lobby broke. Oh, it worked. So we have a Meg, a Jake, a Bill, and me. Fair warning, I'm probably gonna die. I'm not good as a survivor.
Loading. Loading screens are so exciting. Sorry, I gone AFK. It's fine. You've missed nothing. I explained it to the internet. But I'm here and you have my full... Ta-da. Oh, and I'm next to Bill. Hi, Bill. Oh, I'm next to 2 people. Am I next to 3? Are we in fact all next to each other? We'll know once this game finishes loading and I'm allowed to move. There we go. What's up, guys? Okay. My objective this game is to look for hooks and break them. Oh, and the other guy's already getting hit. Cool. Oh, she beat me to the hooks. Wow, that guy's already hooked. Is he AFK? So she's sabotaging the hook. The other guy left. I'm working on the generator. And I'm going to keep working on the generator to try and distract the killer, basically. And now that we're both working on this, it's going to go a lot faster. Could everyone stop fucking this up? This generator should have been done ages ago. There's that guy. Is no one going to help? Nope, that guy's dead. No one went to help him. Slash, the killer was clearly just camping him because we never heard the killer come near us. Nope. There. You hear that heartbeat? There he is. He's right there. And yes, I'm aware I'm wearing bright white. You'd be amazed how hard it is for him to spot me. But what I want to do is go around breaking his hooks right now. Here's one. Most of my undivided attention. That probably just told him where I am. Yep, here comes the heartbeat. Oh, there he is, shit! Shit, shit, shit. Yep, my fuck-up told him where I was. Dang it. I was a second too late. But it wouldn't matter because I wasn't in range. Nope, nope, shit. Yeah! Stunned him. God damn it, everyone else... Whenever I play this game, every survivor is really good at getting away from me. I don't know how to get away from killers. I'm really bad at it. And I don't know what they're doing differently. Ow. Okay. So, something that's kind of in the screenplay... By the way, what he's doing where he puts a bear trap underneath me, that's exactly what I have in the screenplay. And this is why I was trying to break the hook so this couldn't happen. But I fucked up and got caught. Struggling?
So in the bottom left of my screen, you'll see my red bar diminishing. Struggling makes that go down faster. Once that runs out, I die. Once it hits the midway point, I have to struggle against the entity. And look, the entity is slowly forming around us. And this is what the people on the hook are seeing. What a coward. He's just camping. I'm gonna buy my teammates time. I'm feeling generous. But yeah, they're doing the smart thing where they're just working on generators. Because he's just camping me, which is actually bad for him. And good for the survivors. And now I die. Yep, that's how most of my Survivor games go. It's tense and terrifying the first couple times you're playing. I've kind of gotten dead into it because I mostly just get frustrated by these games. I hate playing as the Survivor. Because, yeah, now I lose all those items forever. Also, I'm going to report the killer. For camping. Because it's bad for the game. Though, funny, I was doing better than someone who's still alive. I kind of want to spectate, though. Let's see how this goes. Oh, that guy's dead. Also, I just realized that this guy's name is AAR Cheese. Oh, he's gonna try and help. Oh, they've got only need 2 more generators, but he's only 1 man now. And this guy's gonna camp, yep. So yeah, if he's smart, he'll just work on generators. Alright, good to know. Worst case, he'll find the black lock. I'm unclear what he's doing. Oh well. Let's spectate the bitch in New Jersey. Watch her get fucked immediately. Well, I saw she was wounded, so I was like, that means she's being chased. Let's go see her get caught, basically. Oh, this will get my toolbox back. Was that the McMillan estate? I believe it was. If it was dark blue all around, that was the McMillan estate. But we're going to try this again. Who are you? No one I don't. No one I know. No one I know. So now we have a Dwight. We have a Meg. A Claudette. Here's hoping for a Jake and complete the original 4 Survivor group. Nope, another Meg. It's okay. Come on, ready up. I think this will be our last Survivor game, and then we'll do one more killer game, and that'll be it. We'll actually see me play the Trapper a lot more come next week, because by next week the ranks will have reset, and I won't mind as much losing ranks. Right now I'm so close to getting to rank 1, I don't want to fuck with it. But I will try out the Trapper when I have a lot less to lose. Because I'm bad as the Trapper, but thematically I feel like I should be playing the Trapper for the sake of this stream and this screenplay. But yeah, this is Dead by Daylight. I'm really trying to put together... It's a lot of fun when you have a full game of you and your friends are the killer and the 4 survivors, and you can talk to each other. It's so much fun. Oh good, and I'm right next to a hook. And this time I'm just gonna hook. Especially since this one isn't near a generator, which means he's less... Oh, it's kind of near a generator. Hey, teammate. Do teammates? There are 2 generators here. Alright, I apparently only have it in me to sabotage about 3 hooks. And then this thing is going to run out. We're against the hag. Interesting. Keeping my eyes peeled for the hag. I'm gonna hide in this locker. Because the hag is probably on her way. I'm gonna give it a couple seconds. Oh, nope, there she is. Well, I'll see about breaking this hook then. That's weird. Why hasn't she picked her up and hooked her yet? Oh, there she is. She's right there. Did he go AFK? What the fuck is happening? He's just... We're literally staring at him. Is he stuck? I know that happens occasionally. It's weird. Don't know, don't care. I don't think the toolbox is going to survive long enough to break this. No, we're going to stop. Okay, he seems to be frozen. Okay, something weird's going on. Sucks to be him, but we're almost done here, so let's get out of here. Sooner this game is over, the sooner his misery ends. Got 3 skill checks in a row. Alright, let's get out of here. So those are the 2 exit gates that just opened. And that's been our goal this whole time. Is power up generators to power the exit gates. And that's what they're doing in the screenplay as well. It's halfway done. Alright, then we're done here. So long! We escape! That was a good Survivor game to stop on. I don't know what's going on with this person. Or why they have so few points. I want to see what's going on. Oh, you actually got wounded. How? The hag can't move. You're still what are you doing? Oh well, whatever. What are my options on the shrine here? Thanatophobia, already have. Ooh, that would help. Nurse's Cardling Life. You. Alright, but we're going to switch back to the killer. Yeah, this will be our last game, and then we're done for the night. I'm a little bummed about the lack of progress, but, I mean, I can't plan for everything, and I was just so out of it, and I apologize for that. But yeah, Karina, you got a slightly better idea of what's going on here? Better mental image when we play? It begins. This shall be our final hunt. There's someone. There's someone's. Two someones. Someone! Come back! He's gonna pull that down. Oh, come on! There he is. I haven't found a way to work in the scratches yet. Like the when someone runs, being able to tell where they went. Oh, so close. I'm amazed he didn't pull down the pallet, though. That would have been a good time. He'd have stunned me for sure. I love how many of them try to do that. Round a corner and immediately hide. I think it used to work more often than it does now. And I don't know what changed. I don't know if I got better or if, like, they did a patch to it or something. Oh, hey, look. Tried to go around the thing, but I saw it coming. I shouldn't have looked away. I thought I heard something. I can hear them working on a generator. There she is. I knew I could hear her. They're doing a dance and it's really smart, but... This person's called Pikachu. Well, they pulled someone off the hook, but I'm just going to put this person on the hook. Nope, this person took off. Oh well. Hey, look who it is. Exactly who I thought it was going to be. healed yourself. I thought it was the other way around. Ah, damn it. And the other two are already healed. God, healing is broken. He's just gonna go through. Oh no, he changed his mind. Oh, this guy's an asshole. I hear the other person. I hate these stupid infinite loops. Fuck yes. That is exactly what I wanted. To the basement! What's up, lady? Oh, I got all the generators. Well done. And now this asshole's dead. There you are. Come here. Oh, I just have to hit you. Oh, just dead. Okay. Well, they're probably just going to be able to escape, but may as well go check. Hello? I mean, I'm just going to chainsaw around until I see someone. Oh, they're in here. Okay. There they go. Not a bad game. Ooh, pretty good game. 3. Ooh, especially against high-ranking people. To nerf. Yeah, killers don't need nerfs right now. Survivors are broken as fuck. Alright. Alright. Well, thank you all for joining us tonight. This was not as productive as I hoped, but still pretty successful and a lot of fun anyway, because I got to do a lot of talking and a lot of discussion, which is something I always love. But I will see you guys tomorrow at noon as usual lately. It'll be a shorter stream because I have other stuff I need to do. But I will also be back on later tomorrow night. So there'll be 2 streams tomorrow. It's technically 1 stream broken up. Monday night, I believe 9 o'clock to 11 o'clock, will be Sam continuing the adventures of Shar Bashanlar in his blind playthrough of Dark Souls. Tuesday, and then Wednesday, noon to 4 or 5-ish, will be Sam and I playing in, probably Far Cry 3, as Sam plays in the Sandbox. Otherwise, check us out up here at Death of Subtlety. We have Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. You can follow along on those for the updates on when our things are, and you'll also get to see things besides our streams, where you'll get to see our original videos that we make, our sketches, and a lot of our just even some of our video game related non-stream, non-let's play ones. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. Sorry for the sort of meandering tone of tonight, but I will see you guys next week on Screenplay Saturday.